Inside Pangaea Castle at the Holy Land of Mary Jawaz. Sabo stood beside the knights who were being burned to death. Suddenly, a girl appeared and asked, "You're Sabo, right?" The girl introduced herself as Jewelry Bonnie and said, "I think we're both after the same thing, so let's skip the small talk." Guards shouted that someone had stolen the keys to the slave collars. Sabo and Bonnie started running, and Sabo mentioned, "I did hear about Kuma-san having a daughter." Bonnie replied, "I have always tried to keep tabs on Revolutionary Army activity. That's how I know you are trustworthy. I'll leave it to you guys to get Dad's body to safety." Sabo gave the keys to Karasu's bird and said, "Mission complete. Deliver the keys and tell Morley to get Kuma and the others back to HQ as soon as they're free." Karasu said, "What about you, Sabo?" Sabo replied, "I will be right behind you after I am done here." Karasu's bird left. Sabo asked Bonnie, "What's your next move?" She replied, "I am off to Egghead to see whether Vegapunk has a way to restore Dad's mind. And if he can't..." Sabo noticed something and signaled for them to hide. Guards entered the hall and said, "They are all gone because they saw it. The legendary Phantom Room." Another guard dismissed it, saying, "You idiot, don't talk nonsense like that." Bonnie thanked Sabo and he said, "Egghead's in the New World. We are heading in the opposite direction. Good luck on your voyage." Bonnie remarked, "It is a little odd to see a radical revolutionary acting so friendly. Well, we are both determined to save the same person. Yeah, look after my dad for me." The scene shifted to King Cobra meeting the 5 elders. One of the elders asked, "King Cobra, ruler of Arabasta, what have you come to ask?" King Cobra replied, "Perhaps I should start from the beginning. As you are aware, the organization known as the World Government was founded 800 years ago when 20 different monarchs came together. Their families promptly moved to Mary Jawaz to live as one clan referred to as the Celestial Dragons. They are the ones responsible for the creation of the world, and they have ruled over their creation ever since. Internally, the 20 were considered equal, and to ensure that no individual dictator would rise among them, they installed the empty throne. Each of them placed a weapon around the throne to symbolize their vow to never try and sit upon it. At the same time, new royal families were handpicked to rule the nations that the founders could no longer preside over. Those families are still in power to this day. In order to ensure a smooth transition, all references mentioning the previous dynasty's reign were removed from each of the founders' respective home countries, with the sole exception of Arabasta. The monarch at the time was Queen Lily of House Nefertari. While her name was immortalized as one of the founding 20, she did not stay to become a celestial dragon. Instead, she was to return to Arabasta to continue her reign, which is why the Nefertari family has continued to act as sovereigns. This also means that only 19 weapons were ever placed around the empty throne. One of the Gorosei asked, "It's all as you say, but what exactly is your point?" King Cobra replied, "I have scoured all of my kingdom's ancient texts, but as far as I can tell, all known accounts chronicling the period after the Void Century have one thing in common. Her name isn't mentioned once. It appears Queen Lily never made it back home to Arabasta, and the burden of ruling the country fell to her younger brother. Do you have any record of what became of her?" One of the Gorosei replied, "To be blunt, 800 years is a very long time ago. It is true that the 20 families, including the Nefertari line, did not move here. However, it was believed that the queen returned to her country after that decision. I am sorry, but I'm afraid that details about her motives and journey are lost to the annals of history. We simply do not know." King Cobra looked serious and said, "In that case, what is the meaning of D?" The Gorosei expressions turned angry, and one of them retorted, "Why do you ask? The truth is, a short letter penned by the queen has been passed down from generation to the next." The scene shifted to a public courtyard where Kuma stood, bloodied, in command of the Celestial Dragons. He had captured Princess Shirahoshi, and the Celestial Dragon was jubilant. He intended to make the princess his slave while she cried and pleaded for someone's help. The guards grew concerned, as the Celestial Dragon was alone without his usual entourage and his father. People scattered, intentionally avoiding witnessing the scene, as they didn't want to involve themselves with the Celestial Dragons. Suddenly, a fishman forcefully made his way through the crowd, pushing people aside. The onlookers warned him not to go, knowing the potential consequences. This fishman turned out to be the brother of Princess Shirahoshi, who apologized, saying, "Forgive us, Shirahoshi. We only looked away for a moment. Let's go home and never come back to this rotten place." As the fishman approached the Celestial Dragon, Kuma prepared to attack upon the celestial dragon's order. However, the fishman agilely dodged the massive blow. He exclaimed, "The warlord, Kuma! It truly is pitiful to see how far you have fallen, but we can't stop now. Let's do it, Ryuboshi, Manboshi!" The celestial dragon, filled with disdain, commanded Kuma, "Cut them down, Kuma! Who cares if they are royalty? No one will complain if we bury them in money. Besides, they are just fish." Rebecca and the members of the Tonta Corps also arrived to save Princess Shirahoshi, surprising her. Meanwhile, Sai appeared and sought permission from another celestial dragon to strike him. For the first time, the celestial dragon allowed it, taking full responsibility. However, another celestial dragon intervened and stopped the fishman, saying, "But at least a royal like you must show restraint, Prince Fukaboshi." The infuriated dumb celestial dragon ordered Kuma to kill the fishman and their other enemies. Prince Fukaboshi argued, "What's the difference, Mjosgard? We can't just sit back and let him treat our little sister like that." The celestial dragon retorted, "Escaping is easier for them. They don't have a country to think about. Let pirates handle the matter." Suddenly, Leo and Sai lunged at the dumb celestial dragons. Despite people's warnings not to challenge the celestial dragons, Leo and Sai disregarded their caution and unleashed a powerful attack, striking the dumb celestial dragon directly in the head. The impact was tremendous, and the celestial dragon fell lifeless to the ground. The onlookers were filled with fear and anticipation, realizing the gravity of the situation. They knew that killing a celestial dragon would surely attract the attention of the admirals, leading to dire consequences. Just as tension mounted, Captain Morley appeared on the scene, holding on to Kuma tightly and urging him to cease the violence. He assured Kuma that he no longer had to follow anyone's orders and that they could now return home together. The people were shocked to see Captain Morley, a captain of the Revolutionary Army, intervening in the midst of the chaos. In a surprising turn of events, Karasu's crow arrived and delivered the keys to Captain Morley, further bewildering the crowd. They couldn't believe that the captains of the Revolutionary Army were involved in this conflict. Suddenly, the celestial dragon's father emerged, looking furious and vengeful. The scene shifted to show Imu, who was walking up the stairs towards the king's seat. All 5 of the elders stepped back, astounded by the presence of Imu. One of the elders said, "Great Imu, King Cobra is still present." Upon seeing Imu, King Cobra was shocked and perplexed, and Imu uttered the name Lily, with an eerie and suspicious look in their eyes. Imu proceeded to move forward and took a seat on the empty throne of King, and the chapter ended, leaving the readers in anticipation of what would unfold next. Before leaving, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Your subscription motivates me to keep creating this content. If you want to read all the manga chapters in order, you can check out the playlist below. Take care and bye.